Are you sick and tired of being a loot goblin and finding yourself full of random nonsense? Well, the latest update of Age of War, Chapter 2 in fact, could be just for you. They've made some awesome changes to the loot drops, some of which still need a little bit of balancing. There's some questionable choices happening for sure, but definitely a bunch of stuff that makes a lot more sense, which is cool. I've been wanting this for a really long time, like a really long time. I've been probably saying it since day dot that it's weird that loot's not a little bit more tailored to the specific creature that drops it, thrall, whatever, like an armorer dropping more armorer related things or a fighter actually dropping the type of armor they are wearing. So we're going to go over a few of those changes in the game today. There's a bunch more. This is mostly just focusing on loot drops and a couple of other little tweaks that I noticed. And not much to do with the new purge, but I will have another video on that as well. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm ILLIBET. I play a lot of Conan and I do play other survival games too. I'll be releasing some of that. If you are interested, keep your eyes peeled. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. Love you. Good to see you. Let's get into it. Enough of the formalities. One of the funner things that I think was a good choice that they've done is the 3 skull enemies predominantly, maybe 1 skulls too, but I've noticed so far 3 skull animal enemies drop actual loot, not just the ones in the named city. And they drop pretty useful stuff for making some endgame weapons and things. So if you're able to kill these guys prior to being level 60, it could really help you out with the ability to learn a lot of recipes from dungeons now before level 60, but not being able to craft them. This is really helpful. So we've got some also real random stuff, but some radium gems. That's nice. A lance core, never used a lance, but also cool. Yeah. So we'll hack him up. We'll get the key. His box is not here. So they may have moved some of the legendary dude's boxes. That's a bit odd. Well, I might have to do an updated video on the legendary creatures. You might be familiar with this big red dragon that's not the Red Mother and is super useless. If we kill her, we now get some far more useful things. No key still. So Brawls themselves seem to drop stuff that's more tailored to their specific class. If they're a fighter, they're more likely to drop a weapon. If they're an archer, they're more likely to drop arrows. Significantly less arrows and trash dropped in their inventory overall. Still some random stuff, but like Defaris are going to drop more Defari related things like bones and stuff, but everything seems to drop a substantial amount of hide now. It's usually like 1 thing and some hide, and a lot drop nothing, which is interesting. Also, the Defari Witch Doctor, unless I've been really lucky, has been here 3 times out of 3 so far, which is a bit odd. But no mask yet. But if you like a named purged alchemist, that's fun, potentially. Whoa, his arms went flying. So yeah, these guys drop substantially lower tier stuff, which makes sense. Dancers are gonna, if they drop armor, it's gonna be dancer related. That one dropped nothing. Even the bearers drop like bearer backpacks and things now. I guess that dancer was wearing Defari clothes. If they're wearing Defari clothes, they'll drop Defari clothes. If they're wearing the dancer clothes, like if you come across a pirate and they're wearing pirate pants and like heavy boots, they'll drop the heavy boots. They won't drop pirate boots, which is a nice little thing. And they've so far dropped the weapon that they'd be using also, from what I've noticed. We've got slightly useless stuff in some boxes still in the lower grade areas, which is to be expected. But we also have substantially more decorations in all of the boxes. Can a Bulbrit gonna give us? Nothing good. But it is all far more Defari themed, like a bedroll and stuff, a lot more tattoos. Really weird numbers of things, a lot of hides and things inventories, and a lot of the time they drop nothing, which is actually kind of beneficial. Especially with 4 times, you don't really need them to drop a huge amount of stuff. Buffed things like skeletons inventories, which is kind of fun. They drop a little bit more stuff than just steel. Like some lotus seeds, some random things that you think like skeletons would have, very esoterical. Also a lot of stuff drops repair kits, which is nice. These guys seem to be dropping a lot more legendary weapons. Every single one I've killed so far has given me a legendary weapon. These boxes make a whole lot more sense now than not just random trash. And also the gold and silver boxes have been buffed immensely too. So like places like Buccaneer Bay, their boxes have a lot more stuff in them. But yeah, the boxes in places like the Unnamed City make more sense to be in the Unnamed City now. Bunch of treasure to be had here. And they all drop like a lot of these type of weapon handles, sturdy weapon strings. This guy didn't drop anything. That's kind of a first, but still. It does seem that they've upped the drops. If that not, I'm just being incredibly lucky. Another thing I noticed is that they moved the snake box in here. No longer has a key box that I could find, which was a bit odd. We kill them, and they also drop some extra stuff on their pocket. But yeah, the box is usually here. It's not here. Weird. Another pretty cool thing about this area is that the Relic Hunter boss dudes usually have Silent Legion on them. In fact, always. So they have a chance of potentially dropping you some Silent Legion, and they're not too hard to kill, even when you're not in admin mode. They still drop a Heart of a Hero every time, which is pretty nice. Everyone drops a butt ton more food. Yeah, this guy specifically, I've killed him a few times and he always drops the Silent Legion. Or I could just be getting really lucky on this one guy. Not everything will be exactly like this on release, as this is test live, but we have a good idea of things to expect. If you manage to kill them, the game is sorted. And weapons and armor are just so much easier to come by now. It's kind of crazy. Let's kill this guy just for shits and gigs. See what he drops us. See, something wild. Red Mother? Red Mother, what do you have for us? Could it just be the skeletons also that... No, she dropped the dragon scale. Potions, that make sense. Yeah, let's go check out somewhere else. Something else that's changed dramatically is the piratey people over Lemuria no longer drop much Lemurian, if any at all, because none of them are really wearing it. They will drop more of this encumbrance type gear. Slightly annoying because I used to like to come here to get some nice cheap early game armor, but there's a lot more different options now anyway, so it's not too disappointing, I guess. Lots of food. Nothing on them. And like Taskmasters tend to drop the armor that I'm wearing, the Hyperborean Slaver armor. See what this priest drops. Some priest clothing, making shit make sense. Nothing. Right now over at Booty Bay, checking out some of the gold and silver boxes. As you see, quite substantially buffed. Pretty cool, especially for buying thralls over here. Better just to gamble your way over at Mechamosis' Spire. Yeah, I was hoping that they'd have like actual treasure in these on occasion. But the coin purses are a good little touch so far. Oh, there we go. They do have actual treasure in them sometimes. Yay, Conan, you're not Funcom, you're not stupid after all. Just a bit of a rarer drop, which makes sense. Black Corsair people actually dropping Black Corsair stuff. My dog losing his mind over there. Oh, and the pirates seem to drop like a lot more gold and silver too, which makes sense because they're pirates. Kill some name dudes. That stuff still costs the same. Lots of food and things like, so if it's near a food place, the box will have more food in it. If it's, looks like it's by a brewing place, lots of barrels, it's going to have alcohol in it. Or alcohol related stuff. So I like that a lot too. And like next to a smelter, a forge, you'll likely, if there's a box there, you'll find like still fire in it or oil or stuff related to that. Some certain rare drops now drop from more creatures, like we have a chance killing animal tamers to get ourselves the underwater breathing mask. Really opens it up, and they drop substantially more of the Agrosian Dream Dust. We also appear to have the event back. I have a video on this specific event already, so that's fucking lovely for me. But it's a pretty easy event. You just kill some Skelos dudes and then a big boss snake, and you get some rewards, which is nice. One downside is that we're going to end up with a lot of trash stuff if we can't dismantle some more of the things. They have down the amount of arrows that you end up with. But yeah, that's, if you come here, you're going to end up with like a butt ton of breathing masks because these guys are all dropping them. So hopefully they fix that and make it a bit more of a rarer drop and not all of them drop it all of the time. But I feel like Tamos might as well, like, I don't know why he couldn't just be the guy that dropped it. Oh, we can get some Cambodian wraps. That's really cool. Oh, I'm so excited about loot. If you like spectral potions, well, probably farm them now because the guys over at Samara drop substantially less now. But the boxes make a lot more sense, which we'll get to in a moment. But that's fancy food. That's super fancy food. I could have just spent 5 silver each on them. If they're wearing heavy armor, they'll drop heavy. If they're wearing medium, they'll drop medium. If you're a bearer, he might drop a bearer's backpack, and he dropped none. Didn't even have to tame him. But no spectral potions. Lots of fiber clothes, which was a bit odd. I mean, I guess he's wearing fiber clothes, but the RNG on that's wild. A lot of fur drops off these people, which is a bit random. I would like to see them drop something a little less random than fur all the time. Let's check out some of these loot boxes. Bunch of decorations, Sumerian themed. Some alcohol because it's by some brewing thing. Nice shield. Now they have changed a couple of little spawns around as well, so that's interesting. Does it want me to press here? And something else cool is they've added more random weapons into the world. Like you might find a weapon just chilling out in the wild. Oh, I can pick up the ale. That's fun. So it's a bit more like Sipta and the Iwa mod where you can find random loots about. So that's a nice touch. So keep your eyes peeled. Found a repair hammer. All of this stuff you can then dismantle if you don't want it. Nice. So many decorations. I can imagine some of the PvPers are going to be a little irked, but that's cool. Purple Lotus Orb. You can use that to knock out thralls. Some really nice changes, some pretty random changes. Kill the Sumerian Berserker, see if he offers anything fun. He dropped absolutely nothing that time, so there is a chance for them to drop absolutely nothing. Bit disappointing. We'll see if the Gothrad drops fun stuff. Oh, we should kill one of these guys too. What are you going to drop for us? They're probably going to drop substantially less Sumerian armor. I mean veneer armor. Substantially less. That's okay. They're dropping food because of course they eat. That makes sense. Die Gothrad. Nice. So you're more likely to get cool loot out of boxes than other stuff. For the most part, I've only ever found pants out of them. You are going to find less things like steel in Thrall's pockets and boxes, but again, you can dismantle a lot of this stuff into its base resources to craft into stuff that you actually like. And overall, it takes up less space than the other random nonsense. Some heavy armor from them because they're wearing heavy. It makes sense. That's some food because I guess it's next to a cooking thing. Go around the back and we have some more food. A nice, easy way to get a lot of food. I'm in Asgard at the moment. I don't know if there's any other cool things I could loot on tables. Named Nordheimers no longer drop hearts of the Nordheimer. They might, it just might be a bunch rarer of a drop, which is interesting. But apart from turning them into monkeys potentially at Hanuman's Grotto, I'm not really sure what we did with them anyway. I can't even remember. Not used for anything particularly handy. And places like the Frost Temple have had quite little tweaks go on. Frost Giants now don't drop spicy food. They drop a lot of black ice arrows, black ice, and ice. Possibly a bit too much ice in my opinion. But something else that's really cool, they've changed the darkness and stuff in here, is the boxes now make sense. Well, not that one. That was a terrible example. This box now has black ice weapons in it for free. Yeah, definitely going to have to come up here with spicy stuff. If we head down this way, we'll now find a Yeti. He didn't used to be in here. And because he's a 3-skull, he'll have random shit in his pocket. How fun! We hack him up, get his key. Didn't need to hit him so many times. He also has a box with something that's frost related. Last time I came here, I got the soul spiel. Now I got a frost shot. That's fun. These boxes way buffed to make sense. Like this has some spicy food in it at least. Oh, there we go. They do drop a little bit of spicy pork. It's just way rarer. Again, it makes more sense. A lot of this stuff makes more sense. The hide almost needs to be adjusted a lot. And things like the ice that these guys are dropping is just shit I have to drop out of my pocket. It's not useful to me. But Hagar of the North is now a really fun guy, if especially you're playing Ewa and you are on a certain mission where you have to hunt some stuff and you need the Frost Horn because he has a chance to drop the Frost Horn now. I didn't pick it up last time. So if you're sick of waiting for the Daughter of Ymir specifically to spawn over in Asgard back there, you can just come here and wait for him to respawn because he's always here. And then just kill him and hope for the best. That's cool. Everything's cool. I am almost going to like tally how many times I've said that. And the higher grade areas you go obviously have higher grade things like heals. This way you learn the frost weapons if you didn't know. And we're not done with fun changes to, this is just the Frost Temple. I'm sure there's a lot more changes to a lot more places, which I'll have to do another video on. As I said at the beginning, we're mostly focusing on cool loot drops. But this useless ass dragon down here, no longer useless. We kill them and they drop stuff in their pocket, which is not useless. But now they drop a key, also not useless, with a box. I wish that was also snow themed. Up in the volcano, obviously the dudes wearing the reptilian armor have a higher chance of dropping the reptilian, and the guys wearing the regular stuff, the regular volcano dude things, Serpent Man, that's what's called, they'll potentially drop Serpent Man. You can get dragon bone bows and stuff off them now as well if you kill an archer. But I'm not going to kill that Taskmaster and him randomly have like veneer boots on him for whatever fucking reason. Kiss this. You can die. Nothing too exciting. I think also name dudes need a bit higher of a chance of having cool stuff. But a free dragon bone bow. Random loot box in the volcano. Places like Sephiroth also got a bunch of their loot boxes updated to the fancier ones instead of the shitty wooden ones. There's a strange change, but cool. I see this loot box up here. Where is it? Up here? Well, it's no longer there. Interesting. See what these guys drop. Food. Nothing. I suppose he's a naked lizard. Oh, there's the other loot box. Oh, some bone things. That's cool. Some fire orbs. Potentially get star metal with that. Much more volcano themed. Now in Sephiroth, check out some of the things over here. Like, I wonder if these aggressive dudes are any more worth killing. Sometimes the captain guy was, because he dropped like a truncheon or a binding or something. Nothing. Regular stuff. Some Sumerian feasts. Some like this box got a buff. It has a lot of decorations in it now. Some treasure. It used to be a shitty box, not a fancy box. This one under the water is now a gold and silver box instead of a things box. Interesting change. Shitty box, wooden box, I should say. Barely ever have to make a bedroll again. What's some of these guys going to drop for us? Like this box here, got a buff. All the decorations one could ever need. These ones in, ooh, inside my skull. It's still a great place to come to get some early game gear. And now as we have Mechamoses, as I probably mentioned before, we can go there to get ancient obelisks and steal anywhere from some blood crystals. Oh, this box got buffed. That's pretty fun to be able to find some lotus orbs. Some boxes did not get buffed, like this one over here didn't. It's still just a shitty box. Oh, it's got a prison sign in it. Cute. Nothing. And they seem to also have removed a bunch of the random relic hunters who would chill around these things. They're just not here anymore. Something else that's drastically changed is the Azura people no longer drop Azura armor guaranteed. They have taken that away. So definitely farm up them and spectral coatings before the update actually drops if you happen to like that stuff. Excuse me, let me fly. That's a Mitra priest anyway, but it was interesting to see a couple of those changes. The one skulls on the river don't always drop cool armor now either, which is a bit. And exile boxes have been substantially buffed to be somewhat more useful early game, like bedrolls and a pot for your house to decorate. But overall, I like most of these loot drop changes. They're pretty pleasant, pretty handy for a loot goblin like me, keeps it interesting. Will take some getting used to when I'm trying to get certain materials that I know I can get out of boxes and I can't anymore. But chuck up a comment about how you feel about these loot changes. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is it a worthless change? Should they have done it years ago? Let me know. And if you found this information informative, smash that like button and consider subscribing if you're not already. It means a bunch. And until next time, I hope you have an excellent day, evening, night, morning, whatever it may be, wherever you may be. Have a good one.